Well, welcome back to Alternative House channel. Today I met Dani and she's living in London on the boat.
So welcome aboard Purdycat. So she's my absolutely beautiful 55-foot wide beam that I keep in a marina in London.
We are right in central London, in Marina, and it's super quiet here. It doesn't feel like you're in one of the biggest cities.
That's why I absolutely fell in love with this space. It just feels like you're in the countryside. It's so quiet, there's birds everywhere, and it's such a beautiful community. I just fell in love with marina life when I came to see this boat.
You're on the grid, you have all hookups, you didn't need solar panels and stuff.
No, I'm so lucky. That was again one of the things I was really in love with marina life, that it comes all from the hookup over here. So I've got my water, I've got my electricity, and I'm able to use as many appliances as I want at once, which is lovely. I think the max I've managed to have on is the oven, the microwave, the air fryer and the kettle. So it's very different to off-grid boat life, which is wonderful.
And in the front you have tiny porch.
Yeah, so this is one of my outside seating areas, and I've got my little fairy lights at night time, and it's got absolutely beautiful views of like the London skyline at night, which I absolutely love. And it feels like a real luxury to be able to get a proper patio set out here.
And then you have the engine and all the stuff.
Yeah, so I've got my engine down there, which is currently a state. So one of the big summer jobs is angle grinding and sorting out the engine bay to hopefully take her out cruising next summer, which would be a big dream.
Okay, so you both already, the engine was like down.
Yeah, so the engine, it does work somewhat, but it just hasn't been used in a really long time because obviously when you're in a marina, you don't take it out that much. So I'm spending the summer with my dad repairing the engine and getting it up and running to take it out cruising next summer.
So you do it as well?
Yeah, well, I try. My dad's teaching me.
Okay, nice.
Welcome aboard Purdycat. So this is my kind of living room kitchen area, which I absolutely fell in love with when I viewed the boat. So I've got at the moment my only source of heating is my fire. So that's another job at the moment, just trying to winterize the boat and get my winter heating system up and running. But the wood burning stove is absolutely beautiful. And I've got my rocking chair in front of it. This was a big project that I did. So this is my little like library study area. So when I first viewed the boat, this was just a bit of a rubbish corner. So it's been really fun getting to like create a little space and make a little study area out of it. And it was a luxury that I never thought I'd be able to have on a boat. So that was really, really fun. Then I've just got my TV, my couch area, which again, I think one of the things I love about living on a wide beam is that I get to have full-sized furniture. I had originally been looking at narrow boats and just having to have a small sofa just didn't appeal. So I love the luxury of being able to have a really big sofa and a really big telly on a boat. Whenever I show people pictures, they're always really surprised that I'm able to have such a big telly on board.
And when you bought the boat, it was built out, you took everything out, or how was, what the stage was?
When I bought the boat, it was a really strange scenario, so I'm still not exactly sure what happened, but I actually bought the boat with all of the previous owner's things. I'm talking slippers, tins of soup, dressing gowns, everything was left.
Meet the owner?
Never met the owner. Not really sure what happened, but I basically bought the boat entirely furnished to furnished. So my first month living here was just like moving somebody else out. So when I bought the boat, that was one of the conditions of sale, was that I had to take all of their stuff. They weren't going to remove anything. And I had to take over the mooring almost immediately. So the boat sale ended up going through in like a 3-week process, which was absolutely crazy, and I was on holidays at the time. So I've slowly been changing over stuff, but it's been really nice not having to buy everything. But it was a really odd feeling when I first moved in. I felt like I'd broken into someone's house and was just like throwing away all of their things. So did inherit the telly, which was wonderful, but also inherited a lot of strange things. When I first got this, there was like 7 coffee tables all around here. The boat was just mostly coffee tables. So having to like take all that out before I could start like painting and doing it up. But I was really lucky that the bones of most of it was really good.
Yeah. How old is the boat?
So she's 2017. So she's actually a really newer boat, which I felt really lucky to be able to have. I think I've been viewing lots of older boats. So she's 2017 and yeah, I really love her. I think she's really beautiful.
So that was probably the only one owner?
Yeah, so she'd had one long-term owner, and then the person I bought it from, I believe, owned it for less than a year. So I'm not exactly sure what went on there.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I was really lucky to get a boat that had really good bones and really good structure.
Yeah.
And it was mainly just like designing it and painting it and decorating it. Because lots of other boats I've been looking at, I was planning on taking on a big job. And then when I found this one, I was like, I can't believe I just get to do fun little jobs rather than having to like redo an entire hull. So that felt absolutely wonderful.
Right. And how much did it cost?
So I got her for 98,000.
Okay.
So for a boat this size and for this year.
With
and
bed sheets and flip-flops and stuff.
Exactly. So I saved so much money on having to buy men's dressing gowns as well. And I was really impressed with that because actually other boats I've been looking at, I was going to have to spend loads of money redoing the hull and redoing big structural work.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really lucky. I think I got quite a good deal on her because I bought her in the middle of winter. So if anyone is planning on buying a boat, buy it in the winter time. I can't believe it. As soon as summer starts to come around, everybody buys a boat, all the boats are flying off and the price of them goes through the roof.
Okay.
So for a boat this size in central London, I was really pleased with that amount.
But you got it without the spot.
I got it with the spot.
Oh, with the spot.
Which
That's
is
an amazing deal.
Yeah, it was a really good deal, but I had to take all of his things and I had to be in a month. So I was actually living on another ship at the time and I had to like drop all of my things to run and come here and sort out all of the insurance and sort out everything. So I think that was also part of it, but it did come with the spot because it was the boat and the Marina that I just fell in love with. So this boat's actually always been in the spot. She was brought here newly built and she's actually never left.
Oh,
So it feels really cool to be able to keep her in her little home.
It's actually difficult to find a boat with a spot.
It's really tricky, and I knew that I wanted a spot just because I didn't want to be continuous cruising. I'm really anxious. I have so much admiration for everyone out in the canals when I see them like triple moored up. I do not have the parking skills for that, and I was really keen that I love living in a marina because I have the same neighbours. So we're like a really close-knit community. Everyone's been so helpful. When I like locked myself out the very first day I bought the boat, my poor little elderly neighbour had to come help me get into the boat again. And I remember crying, being like, I'm not for boat life. Boat life isn't for me. I've owned it for 4 hours and I managed to lock myself out. It's just been so nice. Everyone around the marina has just been so helpful. And I think everyone on the canals is lovely as well, continuous cruising, but it's been so nice having the same neighbours. The kitchen was also something I just fell in love with. When I first came to saw this boat, I couldn't believe it. The boat I'd viewed before this actually didn't have a kitchen or a bathroom.
Okay.
So then when I came to see this boat and I saw that I had like a real hob and a proper oven, I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I absolutely love the little breakfast table, and getting to have loads of kitchen space feels like such a luxury. This boat was what we call a sail away. So the person who originally built it bought it as a hull from Collingswood, and then they fitted it all out themselves. So it's really cool that everything on this boat is really custom and really unique and really different, which I absolutely loved. I love that it's super different and that I kind of got to do my own little thing with it as well. So yeah, I really love the kitchen area. I've had loads of fun. One of my favorite things is this was a moving in present from my dad, and it's actually from a shipwreck off the coast of Ireland that he salvaged himself. So I absolutely love that it's now back on the water and it's my little kitchen light. Most of the furniture that I've managed to bring in, I'm absolutely obsessed with Facebook Marketplace. So I managed to find the chairs for £50. I managed to find this beautiful vintage dresser for like 100 quid. Yeah, I've got like a full kitchen set up. I redid my little kitchen recently. I ripped down some perfectly functional cabinets to put up really impractical floating ones, but they just make me really happy. And I've changed the fridge over because I've always wanted like a cute little vintage fridge.
Yeah.
But again, it feels like such a luxury. And most of the boats I've viewed, they have like a really, really tiny fridge. So it feels like a real privilege to be able to get a proper fridge and a proper freezer on a boat. I'm really lucky with this marina that it's kind of a network of marinas. So I live in this one, but as part of my mooring fees, I actually get access to all of the marinas in the network. So I get a certain number of days per year that I'm allowed to go on holidays to all the other marinas and to stay there, which I think is so cool. So my plan for next year is to take her out on some little adventures and try out living in some of the other marinas. And I think it's just such an amazing, flexible way of living that I would never be able to do that in a house. And I think it's so cool that I just have the freedom to take my house to all the other places that I want to live.
Basically, you pay this one fee, and you can go couple weeks in one place, couple weeks in another place.
Yeah,
It doesn't change the fee. What you pay.
No, it doesn't change the fee, and it's completely included in it, and they really encourage it.
Okay.
And it's just such a cool way because they have other marinas in London, they have other marinas outside London, so it's really fun to be able to like get to experience countryside life for a little bit, getting to experience a different marina for a little bit. And again, I think it's that flexibility that I love about boat life. It's getting to kind of be wherever you want to be, change things up, and not feel too tied to one particular place.
And what do you do for a living? Does it allow you to go around if you would want to?
I'm a dietitian, so I work in the NHS. But I think because in London all the transport networks are so good, it means that I could go to any of the kind of London marinas and still be able to make it for work. Okay. But yeah, I love the idea of in the future being able to be a little bit more flexible.
It's very stable, it's not so wobbly.
Yeah, so that was actually a really cool feature of this boat, is that most boats have like stabilizers in the walls, whereas this boat actually has a really thick layer of concrete all across the bottom. Yeah. So it means you can jump up and down, you can run side to side, and the boat does not move at all.
I noticed that's very stable. Yeah.
It's really cool. So I used to live on a ship before this, and some of my friends that refused to come visit because they got seasick were so pleased when I bought this that they were like, oh, it's finally a boat that we can be on and not feel unwell. Yeah. And I'm really lucky with how like chill the marina is, that we don't have too many boats passing. But yeah, it's definitely much more stable than any of the boats that I've been on before, which was such a cool thing.
So what did you do before? You mentioned twice already you were on the ship.
So I used to live on a lightship, which was really fun and really cool. And I think it's what got me into boat life, that I just thought it was the coolest experience ever. I absolutely loved it.
Was it in England or somewhere else?
Yes, it was in London.
Okay.
So I used to live in a room in a converted lightship, which was amazing. And because originally I tried to buy a boat, and my dad was like, get some boating experience, maybe try it out a little bit. And I was like, people don't rent boats, I can't do that. So I popped the search up on Spare Room, and then this lightship popped up, like a big red old converted lightship. And I lived there for 2 years, and it was such a nice introduction to boat life. Yeah. And I think my parents thought it would turn me off buying a boat, and it just made me more avid.
Yeah, but it didn't move as well. It was stationary.
It was stationary as well, which I think is what put me onto the idea of like living on a boat in a marina, living on a boat in the same place. Yeah. So it really got me obsessed with marina life.
Then you have a very tiny door. I think it's the tiniest door on a wide beam I have been in.
It is. We think it was like taken from something else. We have no idea where they found this door from. So this is the bedroom. So it's separate from the kitchen, which I absolutely love, because it means when I burn stuff cooking, its smell doesn't come in here and get on all of my bedding. So again, I was really impressed with the size of this bedroom. I just couldn't believe how big it was. I think most people, when they see the size of my boat, assume that it's a 2-bedroom. So it's really nice to just like have loads of space and have a bed that I can walk the whole way around, which is really cool. So yeah, no, I really love my little bedroom, and I really love that I'm able to just like leave these doors open and just hear all the birds outside, and it's just such an unbelievably gorgeous space. Yeah. So it's been...
So there you have like a second tiny porch.
Yeah.
It depends, evening or morning, I guess.
I love it. So I get the sun straight here in the morning, and then I get it out the front in the evening. Yeah. And what's really lovely is like the marina is really social. So when I'm feeling a bit antisocial, I sit out here and have my tea. Whereas when I'm feeling a bit more social and want to chat to people, I sit out the front, which is so nice. Yeah. It's such a lovely thing about the marina is that in the evening, everyone sits outside with a cup of tea on their own boats, and we all chat to each other. And it's just a really cool little community that I never thought I could have in London. This is my little front deck area, which I absolutely love. I spend so much time sitting out here. It's just so wonderful to be able to have like a little private area. I think it's really lovely to be able to sit out here if I want to chill out in the evening, just watch all the birds. I think it's been one of my favorite parts of boat life, is being able to get your favorite birds and being able to like watch them grow. And it's just, there's always bird shenanigans going on, and it's so much fun. I just didn't think I realized how loud birds are going to be before I moved on to the marina, or just how much personality they were all going to have. So that's been really fun and really beautiful. the bathroom's a little bit strange on this boat.
It's split in 2 units.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why they've done that. So the bathroom here is the toilet and the sink, which is really tiny and at a really strange angle. And every time I wash my face in the sink, the water gets absolutely everywhere. So it's a bit of a strange one, but we are working with it for the moment. It's definitely on my DIY list for next year to redo the bathroom, and I'm really excited about ripping down this wall. So the toilet and the sink are in there, and then the shower's in here, which is a bit unusual. I mean, it does work. It's just a little bit awkward if I have guests over, having to explain to people that they can't be in the bedroom and have a shower. But it is really lovely getting to have like a proper shower on the boat. So that is a really nice thing. But I think the plan for the future is to maybe redo the bathroom and kind of bring it out to here a little bit and take some of the space out of the bedroom. But until then, this is functional, and I need to remember that, and I need to focus on the stuff that I actually need, like the heater and the engine.
And you have enough wardrobe space for you?
Yeah.
Because this is the usual question, like, where do you store your clothes?
The first thing I did when I bought my boat was that I was desperate that I wanted to be able to keep all of my dresses. When I told people I wanted to get into boat life, everyone was like, you're going to have to downsize your wardrobe, you're going to have to get rid of some of your dresses. And I just built a massive wardrobe instead. So I'm really lucky that this is my wardrobe. So
I like the handles.
Oh, they're my favorite. They were one of the first things I bought for the boat. I saw them and I was like, I cannot live on a boat and not own these handles. They are my favorite thing. And my carpenter was like, they're going to rip the door off, and we made it work. So here is my amazing wardrobe, which I absolutely love. So I'm able to have all of my dresses, and which is such a luxury, is that we actually put the rail at the front of the wardrobe so that I can actually have deep storage and hide stuff. Because that is the only thing about living on a boat, is there is nowhere to hide things. There's nowhere you can just shovel your stuff. So it feels great to be able to have all my dresses and have all my storage down the bottom and the stuff I can hide. And then I've also got this wardrobe on this side, which is kind of for all my little bits and bobs. It's terribly disorganized. And then I've got my drawers on the bottom. So I'm really lucky here that there's quite a bit of storage, and then I hide loads of stuff under the bed. So there actually is quite a bit of space for all of my clothes and bits and bobs, which is really lovely.
I believe it's like more seasonal under the bed.
Yeah, so then I kind of change it out, and then under the bed is all my like hiking and camping stuff and all that sort of equipment. So it's really lovely to be able to kind of have all of that space.
When you moved to the ship, what was like the idea? What triggered you to live on the ship?
I always wanted to live on the water. I am just a water person. It makes me so happy. I can't explain it, but whenever I live in a house, I feel landlocked, and I just have always needed to be by the water. And it started off when I lived in the Midlands, that I moved into a canal side cottage, and I just thought this is the best thing ever. And I got chatting to all the boaters that were on the canal at the back of our cottage, and suddenly the cottage wasn't enough. I needed to be on the water. I needed to be in the water. So it got me obsessed with boat life, and it was so cool getting to like live in a canal side village with loads of like boaters passing through. I was always out asking people questions, asking them about their boats, doing loads of research. I would say it took me about 4 years to like build up the knowledge and the confidence and the skills before I bought my boat. And then living on the ship was like a dipping my toe in the water, and I think it just cemented my obsession. It just makes me so happy being able to wake up every day and like see all the birds outside the window, getting to watch the water. I just sit outside for hours in the evening just watching all the goings on in the marina, looking at all the birds, and also the community of boating. I think I'm from a small village in Ireland, and I've lived in London for 10 years, but I found it really hard not having like a community in London and feeling really isolated in apartments. Whereas as soon as I started living on boats, everyone was so friendly, everyone was so welcoming, everyone knows each other. And I really love being able to have that, and it feels so special being able to get to live in central London and basically getting to live in a village as well.
I believe it's very affordable as well for London.
It's really affordable for London. I'm really impressed with it. You know, getting to basically live in a detached waterfront property for the price that I'm paying, I'm really pleased with it. I think I never thought I'd be able to live on the water in London, so living on a boat has been an incredible way for me to be able to do that and to actually get to have my own place and own my own place. And what I loved about boats was that I absolutely love this marina, but I can change it at any point. I think when I've been trying to talk myself into buying a house, I felt really anxious about like being tied to one area, and I really hated that idea. Whereas I love the idea that I've committed to my boat, but I can take her anywhere. if I want to go into the countryside, if I want to go continuous cruising, if I want to move to a different marina. I really love having my home with that flexibility, and that's just so important to me. So I have my TikTok called Purdycat, which is named after my boat, and I just share all of my kind of boat goings on. So lots of like interior designs, some DIY, and just genuinely getting used to boat life. So although I lived on a ship before this, it did not translate to owning a boat. So it's been really quite a journey of learning like how to live on a boat, all the different things, and it's just been really fun being able to share that on TikTok.
All right, thanks for showing around.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.